Welcome back to WCS Austin EU Challenger one last time. It's been a lot of StarCraft in these last 5 days, 4 out of 5 days we've been broadcasting. And we've made it. We're here in the grand final, and it's going to be between two of Europe's absolute best. The current rank 1 versus the current rank 2 and 3 and 4. The Grandmaster League ladder. It's going to be Serral versus ShoWTimE. Best of 5 it is. There is no advantage for ShoWTimE, other than the fact that obviously he didn't just have to play against Nerdjoe. Should be a great series, Todd.
It should be. And let's get started here. Map number 1 is going to be Proxima Station. Map number 2 is probably going to be Abyssal Reef. But starting at the bottom side of the map, playing as the Red Protoss, it is ShoWTimE.
Earlier today, when these two went up against each other on Proxima, it was a crazy game where Serral ended up with 62 Spore Crawlers. And he showed the world that even if a Protoss has all the bases, all the carriers, and all the storms, that doesn't necessarily mean that the game is lost. It wasn't easy for him to deal with that composition, but he got the job done. Spawning on the top side. Hailing from Finland. It's Serral. What are you giggling at, mate?
You sick long story before the intro.
Well, then
and you remembered.
Do you think that people, I mean, how many people out there do you think watched the first best of 5 of the day and are still watching right now?
All of them, because they got passion in StarCraft?
That's 7 hours, Todd. The average
So?
viewership, I think even in a game like StarCraft, where the viewers are pretty committed, is mostly
You think
like
passion as a schedule?
70, 80 minutes on average. I mean, I'm not saying there's no one out there, because I know we're already getting tweets right now. It's like, guys, been watching everything today. It's like, shout out to you, young man, or young lady out there, for all that passion that you've had today. But, you know, not everybody has been able to watch that game. People have real life as well. Some people do sports and other activities on a Saturday afternoon. They come home
That's what you
exhausted.
got tablets for, watching StarCraft at the gym, on the treadmill.
Not everybody goes to the gym, Todd. What if you're playing football? You want them to stand on the field with an iPad in
You
their
tape it
hand?
to your arm,
Yeah,
and then you
sure.
put headphones in.
Yeah, and then you miss the ball. Your teammates get mad at you, and you're like, sorry, man. ShoWTimE and Serral just had a sick engagement. Bro,
What'd you say to me?
championship was on the line. You missed. It's like, yeah, but that fight was really cool. Let us know, of
I
course.
know what you mean, yeah.
Tweet at us. Use the hashtag WCS. Always important to include that one in your tweets. Let us know how many games you've been watching today. And of course, let us know what you've thought about it. We've been getting a lot of positive tweets. I really think we got spoiled as StarCraft fans over the last few days, Todd. We have seen some insane games. Like, it happened often enough that, you know, sometimes I've casted 3-4 days in a row, and then I have like 1, 2, maybe 3 memorable games. Recommend a few series, but this tournament, there's more games that I've casted that I would recommend that I wouldn't recommend, and that says a lot.
Definitely does. You're a guy who knows your StarCraft, aren't you?
I like to think so. I mean, that's one of the only things in life I do know, so if we fail in that department, Todd, what purpose does my existence truly have?
You're one of the other casters with the highest MMR, so props for that, right? We'll get to put that to the test very soon, too.
I can't wait, you know it, Todd. I would never turn down a challenge. Always ready for it. For the people who have no idea what we're talking about, Jon Merlo is actually working on something that the community has been screaming for years. And that is a casters tournament. Jon has been putting in a lot of work, emailing everybody, trying to make a schedule happen. It's a lot easier with some than others, right, Todd?
Yeah,
But
tell me about it.
Aren't I comfortable, Todd? Aren't I easy? Who's the man that just says yes to everything? I'm a yes man.
Yeah, actually, you've been pretty easy with this for the most part.
Of course.
You also answered when I messaged you. Some people took a long time to answer, so hopefully, yeah, we'll make it happen, I'm sure.
I am sure. I mean, you've been running a couple of tournaments. Not everybody knows this, but you ran a Warcraft 3 tournament as well.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of fun. I couldn't watch everything, but what I did see, I think that's really cool.
I've got a lot of experience now, man. I ran the Roddy show matches.
That too.
If you can run that, you can do anything.
Get a bunch of nerds on Skype.
Actually, it's been a long time since the last Roddy show matches.
I know.
Someday.
We used to do a little better financially than we currently do, Todd. Tough times for Roddy. To abandon the high life in LA. Nah, it's all good. We're still doing fine. Quick layer, or at least relatively quick, I feel. 4 minutes, 30 seconds here for Serral. It's a Stargate opening, of course, for ShoWTimE. It's going to follow it up with a Robo. Double Oracle is the choice of build. Are you a fan, Todd?
Yeah, that's still very standard here. And ShoWTimE earlier, we saw that on this map, he's ready to go into mass air if he thinks it can be right, but Serral played that game so well that I'd be pretty discouraged to go into carriers like he did last time. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think that's something that he's super eager to do it, and that's perhaps why we see that much faster robotics facility this time. I mean, I don't want to talk about this game that happened 7 hours ago because that could be a little silly, as the stasis got dropped, Todd's pointing out to me. But there was still that one moment where I feel that if he wouldn't have gone for the main and just defend this location and prevent the spores, maybe we could have seen a different game.
It's kind of bad to get the Queen trapped actually in the stasis world because now there is no inject for a long time. Yeah, I feel like this is like the new Widowmine drop. Where like, you know, Protosses against Terran, they got goods, well, most of them, against Widowmine drop, and now they just pull one probe in, they trigger the Widowmine, and then they start mining again. Whereas, you know, a long time ago, they would lose a ton of probes. It's the same thing with Zergs. Like right now, they're struggling against the stasis war thing. They're getting their Queen trap, but in the future, they're going to be pulling drones away perfectly and only detonating the ward on one single drone.
Yeah,
that's an easy one here. Yeah.
Safe opening on both sides. I mean, look at Serral's economy thought. 67 workers, ShoWTimE 65. Not a single worker has been killed. Proxima is, of course, a very macro-oriented map because of that pocket expand. Serral going up to 4 bases, pretty damn fast as well. 6-minute mark. I think we're getting ready for that good old dance between Hydras, maybe some Ravagers, lots of Banelings, and Immortals in Storm.
Yeah, High Templars in this matchup really have showed that it's one of the best units right now and the best things that you can do, especially in the hands of guys like ShoWTimE, who just seem to manage it as close to perfectly as you can. Again, the 2 pylon outside of his wall, regardless of if he's going for air or not. For ShoWTimE there, and pretty sure he's going to want to go into a 4th base momentarily, do some War Prism harassment at the same time with some Adepts. But the Hydralisks are already out.
I like the fact that Serral is already working on these rocks, right? Because we know that Protosses will try to go up to 4 bases here. We saw Nurcho, for instance, earlier today have a massive army, surprising one of the Protosses, DNS it was, that he played and was able to get a good engagement because of it. So
a few people tweeted at me, we've been watching everything today. Rapid is one of them.
Oh.
Rapid watches everything.
Yeah.
He's the sickest guy.
That's awesome. Passionate individual, that is. I mean, it's crazy. It could cancel immediately because of these links, right? Like immediately gets a cancel, forces a cancel on that pylon as well. It's gonna
Look at the minimap, the 3 red dots at the top. Almost looks kind of weird. If you could trap a lot of units here, yeah, drop the stasis ward. Okay, no, he didn't have the energy on the other one. Drop a stasis ward on top of these Adepts and then watch them force at least one link to come first and trigger. That would buy a lot of time.
Yeah,
if you had synchronized the stasis ward with the Adepts, might have done even better.
Serral's ready to party, thought. He's morphing 18 Banelings, probably over here, I think right below the Observer, indeed.
Okay, so
that's
a pretty bad case scenario here.
Storm is not...
Force fielding on this map can be super tricky, though. And
the pylons
Storm is ready, though.
How many
if he splits the Zealots right...
Yeah, this seems like a hold. ShoWTimE most of the time always holds the scenarios like this. Morphs all of the High Templars into Archons as well. A couple of the Zealots were not participating, but they're going to show up now.
Guardian Shield is going to protect everything from these Hydralisks.
It's not just an hold, though. He crushed that army.
He made a statement with this.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, the Void Ray was in the middle of the map alone. Goes down. But now the War Prism and the Oracles can go back to work. It's such a perfect map for these Oracles, by the way. Like, I feel like you should never be opening anything else than double Oracle with this massive dead space behind the natural mineral lines and main.
This time the Adepts won't run into links immediately, so there is a chance that they can get some work done. There's no Resonating Glaives, but it doesn't mean that they won't be able to pick up at least a couple of drones. What do you think? What is Serral's choice right now, Todd? After that first attack, it doesn't...
Lurkers, I think, usually.
Yeah. I can get behind it. What about a cheeky Spire somewhere? And go for a mass Muta switch.
The problem with that is that against somebody as good as ShoWTimE, you will almost always attack with a massive army, and then you can't win the base trade against the firepower of this.
Yeah, and I guess plenty of storms will be available as well. Maybe it would have been better for Serral if he at least pulled the units a little bit out of position and tried to threaten this side on the north side, because running into the double overcharge when the Immortals are so well spread out and the storms were ready, this is going to be very difficult. As a couple of these Zealots get picked off by the Lynx. More cannons being wiped in. ShoWTimE obviously aware of the fact that he's in a sweet position after he just demolished that first attack that Serral threw at him.
Yeah, let's see if ShoWTimE actually goes for the attack that I thought he was going to go into there in a second. I do think that when you reach this amount of army, and especially if you have Storm, you're not committed against anything. It's not like, you know, Fungal's going to land on your army. Like, this is the first time where, as Protoss, to actually move out and go for an attack, you're very confident.
Yeah.
Like, your army cannot really get caught in the middle of the map and completely crushed as long as you're careful and you don't let, like, a 360 surround get on top of you.
Serral is being annoying. He's actually going to be able to find 2 Archons here that should get picked up by all these Lings. I mean, that's nice, but look at this Immortal Force, and there's plenty of Storms available as well.
Everything's clumped up, though.
Yeah, but this...
Yeah, there's not enough Banelings, I think. That's the big problem there.
Well, a few more are rolling in.
What
Wow.
in the world? Could he hold that? I mean, he's cleaned up big time.
There's still a lot of Storms available. There's still a Warp Prism in the mix as well. But you're right. That was
Not the best micro by ShoWTimE. I was expecting him to kind of crush this a little bit better.
Lost a couple of probes as well in his natural. Yeah, maybe he got maybe he went on easy mode there. Maybe that was autopilot ShoWTimE, just thinking that there's absolutely no way that army is ever gonna die. And well, can't blame him. He really thought it wasn't going to die either. Few High Templars are trailing in the back of this army. He has to be very careful, but it's hard to chase a Protoss army with Storm.
Yeah. ShoWTimE drops a revelation in the main, sees that Hive's already finished. And he should know that... oh, a Baneling drop. Or a Baneling attack happened in the 4th. Got a couple of probes there. It worked.
Yeah, ShoWTimE's economy, I wouldn't say it's crumbling, but he lost quite a few probes.
He needs to
here and
transfer
there.
probes from the main and natural. These are overly saturated right now.
Yep, he's taking notes, and that's exactly what he's doing. Getting another cancel on that 5th, that is nice.
Oh, I like that he's bringing Oracles back with his army to tag the Zerg army, try to land better Storms.
Yeah.
And we're going to have another Baneling attack on the left-hand side here by Serral.
I like this by Serral though. He has 32 Banelings. He's getting 10 more, so now he's on 42. Oh, stasis traps can actually make this a little more complicated. But he's also getting that greatest fire. It's more than halfway done. One more hold, and he's still resting on the left side of the map as well. But obviously we can't miss these Storms. This Protoss army is so clumped up. Todd, what is happening?
He went a little bit too far out. Oracle's also moving in that position.
Wow.
Serral had a big mishap in the previous series in the final game with the move command ShoWTimE with some mishaps of his own here in game number 1, and Serral will take the 1-0 lead.
If you would have told me that ShoWTimE was going to lose this game and not against Broodlords after he held that first attack, I would have said you're crazy, like that's not supposed to happen. Obviously the Immortals were too clumped up in the first attack, and this was perhaps even worse. But man, Serral just produced an insane amount of Banelings, and this was very uncharacteristic, right, from ShoWTimE.
Don't get me wrong, Serral played really well, but I feel like it's a little bit more ShoWTimE's mistake here. ShoWTimE's loss than Serral's win in this case.
No, it's hard to disagree there. Doesn't make it any less impressive.
You tried, but you couldn't do it.
You know it, Todd! This makes my day.
I'm so tired of this. I'm so glad. Like
this makes
this is the last series.
WCS EU Challenger complete. After 4 days, the second map will still be played on Abyssal Reef. Todd is going in investigation mode right now. He's like, why on earth is it always Abyssal?
I don't get it, man.
Let's see if he gets an answer. I mean, after that last game, I guess ShoWTimE is not too much in for some banter right now. Can't blame him for it.
Maybe he doesn't mind.
Well, he completely ignored you. So.
Yeah?
Yeah, he just said go.
Maybe he minds.
Shut down. Shut down. Well,
I love how Serral is not interested. They only reply to the 7K club anyway, so they only talk to each other basically. They hear nobody else.
Abyssal, can ShoWTimE bring it back? Had a great start there on Proxima. Very uncharacteristic to see a game like that slip away. I'm sure that the majority of the Zerg players out there were watching. They look at that first attack. They see that that Serral loses like 2,600 resources more than ShoWTimE there. ShoWTimE stabilizes on 4 bases. Storm, Immortals. I'm sure everybody thought that game was over.
It's weird because the first fight ShoWTimE did amazing. Yeah. And then the next fight is supposed to be the easier one for him, and he kind of butchers it. But anyway, we're on Abyssal Reef as tradition wants it for game number 2 here, and starting in the bottom right-hand side of the map, playing as the Red Protoss. It is Arma Team's ShoWTimE.
I do really want to have an answer, though, to why Abyssal has always been played second.
Yeah, well, then go and get 7K MMR because you're not getting any without that.
Maybe we can talk to King Arthur. Maybe he's willing to spill the beans.
Yeah, he's the guy we go to ask this stuff, right?
Well, Arthur is nice. To me. Over here on the left top side, looking at the main base of our finish Dirk. It is Serral. No, I think you put it very well there, Todd. The first one is supposed to be the difficult one. And if you barely survive, then obviously the second one is still going to be close. But since ShoWTimE just completely crushed that first attack, yeah, normally that's not supposed to slip away. And especially not because this is ShoWTimE, right? Like ShoWTimE is solid as a rock. He's definitely not cheap as duck, but he's solid as a rock. And normally he doesn't make those mistakes.
Yeah, it's very uncharacteristic. I wonder what was happening there. Like maybe just got overconfident. It happens a lot actually, especially I would say like to lesser players that they get overconfident and don't put in the maximum efforts in this situation that they would. Does it happen to you often on stream? That you're doing well in the game and then you get complacent?
Well, it happens only on the times ever where I talk a big game, which is why I almost never do it. When I start getting like a little cocky, the StarCraft universe gods, they just punish me. And like, I don't know.
Like what? Give me an example.
Yeah, it's hard to, you put me on the spot right now, and like I've watched so much StarCraft the last few days, but
no, like on your stream when you're playing.
Yeah, so basically if it happens sometimes where I would play against the good Protoss and I know it's going to be close, but then it's like Phoenix against Oracle and I'm like, ha! That's what you get, Oracle against Roddy, you must enjoy losing! And then 3 minutes later I lose and it's like, I look really dumb. So in general, I try to stay away from that attitude.
It's hard though, right?
Yeah, I mean sometimes, you
have to stay disciplined.
Yeah. It's very easy to go in cruise mode, especially in StarCraft, because you think you know the game so well, but at the end of the day, there's very few people out there that truly understand every aspect of a game of StarCraft 2.
Look at that Ling. Like a royal 7k MMR Ling. Sneaks into the main, sees the Stargate. It's like, you know what? My overlords can actually fly away from there because I know how you're opening.
Once again, ShoWTimE is going to go for the Stargate though. Seems to be still having faith in it. Curious to see if it's going to be double Oracle into the Void Ray again. I mean, on Abyssal, I think Abyssal is a great map and we see a lot of variety in general, but when it comes to this matchup, I feel there's often this big fight here, right? Like that comes down to Hydra Bane while the Protoss is hugging its Nexus. That's not done yet. Get a couple pylons, Force Fields, Immortals, and that's where it often gets decided. But maybe, I'm surprised, like this seems like a decent map for the Archon drop maybe, if he's convinced that Serral wants to answer that with Aspire, but we're not going to see it. It's a quick Twilight this time, so maybe we're going to see some Oracle Mass Gateway, Resonating Glaze. Not just 3, but maybe he does 3, wipes in 7 adapts, goes across the map, then goes up to 3 bases and does it again with 8 or 9 gateways.
Yeah, I mean, against Serral though, it's a predictable build like this as well as you execute it. Is it really ever going to work? Like Serral showed his defense earlier, even against multi-pronged attacks here from these adepts.
That's true, but at the same time, I think like thinking outside of the box and also playing against your own image a little bit can be useful. And ShoWTimE obviously has the image of being that solid macro Protoss. And in general, Protoss, in a lot of series, ShoWTimE does it at least once, right? Because we always talk about what kind of a macro-oriented Protoss he is. He often throws in one. Calling it a cheese is maybe not right, but let's say dirty build.
Designated timing.
a
Designated pressure.
A dirty pressure. There's a Void Ray once again after the second Oracle. And Resonating Glaze is already on the way. The Adept is a little bit exposed. Actually going to get picked off probably by these... Well, I feel like...
Where did he pull back?
Yeah.
Probably thought there was Mothership Core around. Guess what? Mothership Core hasn't been made yet.
The Adept was bluffing. It ran towards the pylon.
You know what's crazy about delaying Mothership Core this much? I feel like you're super likely to forget about it entirely. And then usually it's bad news.
This is a little late. Like, I understand when they delay it, past 40, 42 probes, but going up to 52, I guess it's just because double Oracle. ShoWTimE just feels so confident that even if he has to face a Link Flood, he has double Oracle. If it would be any sort of Roach build that he somehow didn't scout, he's got that safety Void Ray. So I guess
and he has such a good defense that I think he realizes that a guy like Serral is unlikely to attack into him. So maybe again playing to his image, which is crazy. Like,
well, he's going to move out, Todd, with all the... this is crazy, though, because now he's going to even move out with the Adepts. And he almost has nothing here. So these Links could potentially do some damage, because, other than this one Adept that should have died a while ago, well, not a Zealot that's supposed to hold the door. It's actually getting out of position as well. No
It's
pilot
crazy.
for you.
ShoWTimE almost always goes for a forge off the back of this. These links actually getting some damage done, but now these adepts are going to be threatening. Serral has quite a few links and roaches. He's going to hide those away from the shades, and if ShoWTimE goes forward there, he's going to be losing a lot of adepts and not going to be able to get any drones in particular.
Yeah, roaches are not like Banes though.
And he's hiding the links away still. On the right-hand side of this, he only used the roaches, knowing that they were going to be tanky enough to trade with this.
Oh, now the Void Ray will show up as well. This is something we saw earlier, and we were sad that the Void Ray and the Adept didn't show up. All the, the Oracles, man, everything just gets cleaned up. Though Serral's defense is immaculate.
That was the sickest defense by Serral. You can do a peak daily just on that initial defense here, because those links, that was perfect. Send them to the natural. He already anticipated every single move. At this point, this is a game of chess, and Serral is a few steps ahead of ShoWTimE. He's anticipating everything right.
ShoWTimE, oh, that's actually sick, because ShoWTimE sees all these links, the Oracles turn back around, and that means that the Oracles won't find the Spire. And if Serral can catch ShoWTimE off guard, and he shows up with like 15 or so Mutalisks, that would be absolutely massive. Like, yeah, Archons are good, but you don't have to fight the Archons. This is really good. These links are keeping the air units from ShoWTimE at bay, and that's exactly what Serral wants.
Eventually, when those air units come into play here from Serral, if ShoWTimE is not ready, it could get tough. He showed in the past, though, that his defense is very good against that, even though there was the one game where the Mutas were doing a ton of damage.
Does he know? What? How did he know that? How on earth did he know that? Did he see that before or something? If he's... That's sick. I have no idea. I'm speechless. That's crazy. 7 Mutas thought. Spire still completely undetected. ShoWTimE is getting charged. Has no idea about this Spire. That's a lot later than you normally expected. But it doesn't make it any less powerful, because look at ShoWTimE. He's getting all the gates. He's getting charged. Storm can be good, of course, against Mutas, but a player like Serral is not just going to fight in Photon Overcharge and Storm. This is the very first time that ShoWTimE will pick up on the fact that there is a Spire. I wonder what his reaction immediately starts to Phoenix.
Yeah, probably a couple of cannons in his middle lines, I think, might be a great way. At least in the 2 bases where Mothership Core is not going to be. So he starts cannons in the 3rd base, 1 in the main base. And maybe if he assigns the Mothership Core to his natural, like here, he's going to be fine, as long as he stays defensive.
I think maybe he feels he needs that Mothership Core at the 3rd or 4th base. Immediately, ShoWTimE is going to end up losing almost 10 workers here.
The one most exposed base is where Serral goes, so kind of fortunate here on him.
1 Phoenix, actually, it's going to take a little while.
It's going to be a hell of a kiting needed there.
Serral's moving forward towards that 4th base, gets the High Templars with the Bailings and the Sentries as well.
Wow. ShoWTimE not paying attention to his 4th base, and I think Serral was counting on that. Yeah. He knew that he was going to be looking at the Mutas, so he attacks into him.
I mean, Phoenix is a unit that's great against the Mutas, but you have to look at it, because the moment it stops flying away, then suddenly Phoenix is going to start dying as well.
And I'm glad that we got your most beautiful high pitch out of this one at the end there.
That was, I mean, that was big though. Seeing Banelings roll into High Templars with Storm,
that deserves a high pitch for sure.
Serral is just dominating, Todd.
Yeah, he's just... The one loss that he had earlier to ShoWTimE, a 2 and 3, in which in the last game, I do think he definitely was within his reach to win that one.
Newkirk is going to be our 3rd map. Could potentially be the last map of WCS Austin EU Challenger. It's been some fantastic StarCraft over the last 5 days. I wouldn't, thought it's 10:45, but I wouldn't mind seeing at least 2 more games, I mean, 3-2 would be the dream.
Let's do 3 more. Maybe even 4 more. Cheeky draw in there, why not?
A draw in PVZ.
Those crazier things.
Those are pretty rare.
It's so sick if Serral wins here, because again, he's rank 1 on ladder, ShoWTime's 2, 3, and 4, and then Nurture is 3rd. So it's like the top 3 is respected. After that, from Europe, it will be TLO in the 8th place, but I guess that's not respected. We can't get everything, right? No. Otherwise, we might as well not even play this tournament. We just take the ladder ranking and that's it.
Yeah. Skip it over with. That's how ladder heroes work, right? Like Ravi gives money, or Fear Dragon gives money to the top ranked players on the ladder. Well, Challenger is basically just an extension of ladder heroes, even though they play a little tournament. But the results are set in stone. Let's hop into Newkirk for potentially our last game of the day. We hope it's not. In case it is, we want to give a big shout out to everybody that has been watching and hopefully has been enjoying these amazing StarCraft games over the last few days. I'm very happy, Todd. I definitely feel blessed. It's almost like a privilege casting all these games, because This was a very fun week to be a StarCraft caster.
It's a privilege to be casting with you, Roddy.
Oh. All right, over here. Can he bring it back? It's Europe's best Protoss. Has won a lot in his career. Can he turn this one around? It's ShoWTimE.
His opponent going for a hatchery first in the blue. And from Finland, how suitable. It is Serral. ShoWTimE with the Nexus first. A new Kirk.
Yeah.
That man has no fear, but I guess he's playing Serral, a guy who doesn't do too many rushes. In the same way that Stefano for the longest time would never ever Zergling rush. How things have changed.
He did scout as well though, and I guess if you don't see a hatchery, you can always change your mind and still go gateway before Nexus. Your gate is going to be a little later, obviously, but I think as long as he has a scout. Oh man, what a series so far, and what a performance by our Finnish Zerg. I lost earlier today against ShoWTimE in our very first best of 5 that we saw here on the main stream. It was close. Seems like he is out for revenge, thought. Redemption is on his mind when he thinks about ShoWTimE.
He wants to take that crown of being one of the absolute best European players, if not the best. I already took the Zerg crown from Nurcho, but he's gunning for more.
It is cool though, because a lot of the European pros have been talking about Serral for a while, just being absolutely on fire, being a madman. And
in Katowice, he already showed good things and then got a tough draw with Dark.
with the way he's currently playing, I'd love to see him make another run like that. Maybe we'll see him in action in GSL versus the World in a couple months. Not exactly sure when that happens, but if you got to think of European representatives, it's hard not to think of the man that could potentially win WCS Austin Challenger.
If you can beat Nurcho, if you can beat ShoWTimE, then say...
And Snoot, he beat Snoot as
Yeah,
well.
say he could beat Neeb. Serral might very well win WCS Austin. The way he's looking right now is it's definitely pretty impressive. Obviously, you know, it's offline, it's different. You need to adjust and everything. Texas is way warmer than Finland, but who knows?
It is, especially this time of the year. But the convention center is pretty good, Todd. I am happy to inform you that they do have
air conditioning.
They have AC.
Wow. I will not need to be interviewed by Take.
So the heat.
Good news.
The heat will not be a problem for Mr. Mello.
It's not going to be too freaking hot to play.
Robo and Twilight being wiped in over here on the left bottom side for ShoWTimE. Expecting the Dark Templar opening here. Dark Shrine would make sense, and probably just one extra gate. So he can do it off 2 gateways. Maybe he feels that the 4 gate is, you know, going to slow everything else down a tiny bit. And he's just a fan of the 2 gate version that hits a little faster and still allows you as a Protoss to go up to 3 bases a little faster as well.
ShoWTimE has been going for only 2 gates when he did this build almost every single time. Would be interesting if he actually went for 4 this time, but I guess that's...
Well,
yeah, that's going to be coming. Sick mind game, especially just right after he chased the Overlord away. I don't think that Serral is necessarily that likely to follow up Scout because he already saw the Dark Shrine.
you know what I want to see, Todd? The 9 DT rush. Wipe in 4 DTs at home.
Blink, right?
Well, yeah, and charge. Shout out to Nightmare. The 9 DT rush, trademark of Mechanic. Maybe we can see that one in action. I think if you ever try to run 9 DTs into Serral spaces, all 9 of them will just die.
Yeah, there's a good chance he's going to have 25 roaches and an overseer waiting.
And he's just like, man, I just lost 9 DTs. This is going to be hard to pull this one off. 4 speed links.
Is this going undetected? Or did the Overlord spot it? I think he barely missed it. Okay, no, well. Now Lynx are escorting this like a bunch of F-10 in the skies.
Bunch of fighter pilots on the ground. ShoWTimE only wiping.
Divert your course, so you will be shot down. Oh, that's sick.
Well, I thought he wiped in a Stalker. Yeah, he did. He has a Stalker.
It's in the main, yeah. It's kind of hard to send that down against Lynx.
These Zerg.
Second prison, by the way. He's going to be heading towards the 3rd base, so he's going to be 8 Dark Templars.
8 DTs. Patience did it, you remember? On the Home Story Cup. He did it on the game on King Sejong Station. I forgot against who it was, but 8 or 9 DT. This is so sick. I mean, ShoWTimE needs obviously a lot of money for this, because his Nexus is so delayed. He's gonna have it. This is ridiculous. I have no idea how this is gonna play out. There's an overseas and a roach here, but if he wipes in 4 DTs on the north side and he snipes the spore...
Look at ShoWTimE's minerals. That third base has been so delayed by Serral. He's put in some serious work here already in this game.
He's gonna get... Wait, is he gonna go like double Archon? Like hero?
Yeah,
hero
usually
style?
you go double Archon, I think, with this.
The double. Talking about that hidden menu, thoughts. Making me
It's
think.
not hidden. A triple is hidden.
It's a little bit of everything. It's 2 Archons in the main. It's going to pull the roaches out of position, and now 4 Dark Templars are going to run into this
and
northern...
drones are dying left and right here in the main base of Serral. You can expect clean micro as well from ShoWTimE.
Well, okay, the Spore Crawler is here, though. I mean, this was really cool and good, but 10 drones, super late Nexus. I don't know.
What a sick build. I love this build. Pug did that earlier in the North American Challenger. And he looked pretty good when he did it as well.
Double with cloak. Sounds pretty tasty.
Yeah, right. When these blades slice you up, you're the one who's gonna be tasty.
That's basically just like a spicy patty tot. It's like putting jalapenos on your burger.
You're getting too creative, man. A fried chicken wrapping, what do you do?
A taco.
Yeah.
A taco wrapped in a fried chicken shell. That's America in a nutshell.
I think Puck actually that was against Scarlet when he did. He beat Scarlet in the North American Challenger with the 1 Archons like this with double War Prism.
Must be so hard to stay busy with both prisms at the same time and macro at home. Like,
I would have a hard time macroing 1 prism, so 2 prism and macro at the same time.
you know, this would be a great build for Archon mode. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Don't know
This
how.
is sick.
Forcing 9 additional Banes, 2 more. Sarah's probably wondering, like, God, what a build. 4 Archons now harassing at once. Gotta be careful with your War Prisms. You're carrying some very precious cargo. Dodging the fireworks.
And I mean, ShoWTimE behind this is getting a ton of units. He's looking pretty good. But so did he in game number 1. That wasn't enough back then. Overcharged for what? Overload flying in. Oh yeah, I guess he was worried there might be Banelings inside. That's a sick bluff by Serral, by the way, to just kind of send that there. Maybe he wanted to see the size of the army of ShoWTimE, which is looking pretty scary.
It was not a Dropaloid, just a regular one. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to call, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you see something coming on the minimap, you're like, hell no. Just overcharge right away.
4 Archons are gonna work on this extractor. Serral is gonna try to run by with a couple of links. 2 Photon Overcharge. That means no more Photon Overcharge available after this. Maybe by the time that Serral would ever attack. But instead it's gonna be ShoWTimE, who seems eager to be attacking. Serral has quite some money in the bank, Todd.
Oh, Serral's morphing Banelings under the Mothership Core across the map.
I mean, that's gonna be good, but he also has to worry about this army, Todd, on the other side of the map. All the
here
Archons.
we go. The splits are gonna have to be good. So many Zealots clump up against these Banelings now. Most of the Banelings are already gone. Let's see if Corrosive Bile can be dodged. Yes, at the last second, the Banelings blow up 7 probes across the map. If Serral was to hold, he would be in a good position, but it looks like there's still a lot left over here for ShoWTimE.
Yeah, just 2 Archons. Well, 3 Archons remain, but 1 is very low in HP. So I think by the time that this Roach army keeps kiting back, this 1 Archon is 1 hit away from dying. 12 more units, 12 more Lings and 9 more Roaches on the way. Good pickup there. Can Serral clean up this Protoss army and potentially claim the top spot in WCS EU Challenger? 1 Immortal gets picked off, Todd, even though he's starting to lose a lot of expensive units now as well, though. These Ravagers starting to die. This is really close, but I think ShoWTimE actually has enough.
Serral with a lot of reinforcement is gonna try and Corrosive Bite one of these War Prism here that picks up one of the Archons and Immortal. A lot of the shields gone on some of those units.
What a build. I mean, the Ravagers are getting super exposed now. 1 Immortal super low in HP, but it survives. Big warp in for ShoWTimE, and ShoWTimE gets a point on the board as well. What a build. What a game.
What a fight. What a day, what a night, what a tournament.
Everything.
ShoWTimE, that was sick here. The execution at first I thought was not the best. Like he's kind of running DTs, there was a spore already and stuff. He's like, all right, I'm out of there. Then he's like, you know what? Let's try this here with DTs in one base, Archons in the other. In the meantime, macro was clean and then the follow-up attack just a little bit too much.
It's actually crazy that he was able to...
The splits were really good, by the way, this game.
Yeah.
Like, he made up for game number 1 for sure.
Yeah, even in the end, a couple of sentries that I thought were about to die against those Banes, they survived. There were 3 Archons on the north side that soaked up a lot of Banes, but I mean, that's kind of the duty anyway, right? As long as not all the Archons disappear, so the links suddenly become a huge problem. And that wasn't the case at all. So ShoWTimE gets 1 on the board, wins on Newkirk. Now we're heading into Belcher Vestige for our 4th map of the Grand Finals of WCS Austin EU Challenger. It's been one hell of a ride, Todd. Still leaning towards Serral?
Yeah, I mean, he's up 2-1, right? Like, it's the easy one. The ladder, man. The ladder rankings, they mean something.
They don't lie, just like the soup. Grandmaster League rankings don't lie.
If we go by ladder MMR, actually, you would beat me right now.
Yeah.
How much MMR you got?
5,866.
300 more than me. And if I play a couple of games, you probably would be 400 more than me.
Well, I mean, this always what happens. Like every time I start feeling really confident about my start.
I saw you swing a lot between 5k 8 and 5k 5.
Yeah, a bad day and a good day. It also has to do with streaming, you know. Like you try to.
I don't swing. I only go down.
Try to have some fun and bust out a couple of cool builds, and it's also about like having fun when you play StarCraft. Ladder is fun, and being high on the ladder is awesome, but. You know, instead of just playing your try-hard build every game, it's cool to switch it up a little bit. I've been having more fun lately. Immortal
Really?
Storm, yeah, it's good. It's never something I feel comfortable with, but a lot of fun to execute. When it all goes right, I feel a little like ShoWTimE. And when it goes wrong...
For 1 second.
Yeah, I apologize.
Then you see the
ShoWTimE.
score screen. Idle time 5 minutes. All right, let's jump into game number 4 here. We're on Belcher Vestige, and starting in the top left-hand side of the map, we've got the red Protoss. It's ShoWTimE.
No Nexus first this time, Todd, for our German toss. Going up against this new star on the block, even though he's been around for a while. But lately, his results have just gone to a next level. It is Serral.
Yeah, Serral has been one of those guys that's like been considered a promising player for a very long time. But only recently is he taking that to the next level and dominating and doing really well. And he's only 19 years old.
Yep. Of course, once upon a time, his brother was competing as well. Protosser.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, played Zerg. Like, let me call myself Protosser and then play Zerg. I'm sure there's a
Call
lot.
yourself Zerger.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who read his name and then like, you know, they're like, playing PvP. They open double gate.
Yeah.
Adapts.
They opened 4-gate, like,
Yeah.
running into a bunch of links, game over. It's interesting too that Serral, like, he's from Finland, a country that's has been dominated by Protosses in the past a lot with Wellmu, Elfie.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, you know, Finland has never been the country that people looked at and said, okay, it's the strongest nation in Europe right now, but, you know, Elfie made it to a finals of an Intel Extreme Masters in 2011. Yeah. Wellmu was one of the most consistent Protosses in Europe for a long time.
Nama won the first Dreamhack.
Yes, he did. Nama.
Satini was a pretty good Terran that transitioned over from Warcraft 3. Then you got Zhuge who had the ceremony at Nationwide. Oh, never mind, getting carried away.
I'm sure we're forgetting one or two, but yeah, definitely provided us with quite a few good StarCraft players over the years. And actually making big results as well in those international tournaments. Especially WCS Premier League. Wellmu was such a consistent force to be reckoned with.
He was like the sickest regular. He was always in there no matter what. He was like that guy that somehow is still a member of like this club that like you're not really sure why, like somehow he still manages to get sick results even though he keeps a low profile other than outside of WCS. Wellmu was underestimated, I feel, for most of his career actually.
Yeah, definitely an underrated player, especially when he was having his decent or consistent impressive runs in WCS Premier League. Stargate is once again going to be the tech of choice for ShoWTimE, as Serral is going up to 3 bases on the other side of the map. Stalker is going to deny the scout, but I think that it's safe to say this Overlord will see the Stargate in the back of ShoWTimE's base, and that's very nice. We'll confirm Serral that he doesn't have to worry about anything weird.
These games really make me want to play. I want to try these builds by ShoWTimE. It looks so clean, like every time, you know, it's the Adept into Stalker to make sure he denies the Overlord scout, like everything's just so clean.
Yep, and then you play against the 5100 Zerg who makes 25 links and then you die and you're like, what is going on?
Not so clean anymore.
Why doesn't this happen to ShoWTimE? Single Oracle this time.
I like his wall actually. That wall off is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a good wall for Belcher for sure. Perfect actually. Hey, it's interesting that this time it's a single Oracle, Todd, not a double. Before he goes for the Void Ray. Wonder if he was worried about something.
Yeah, there is less dead space behind the middle lines to be able to put Stasis Ward and all that, and he's already gonna force force with just the one Oracle.
Well, he gets 3 kills with the first Oracle. Does take a little bit of real damage, so he's gonna have to be careful later on, but 3 drones is more than you normally get against a Zerg like Serral, so that's pretty good news for ShoWTimE.
Man, this Mothership Core, he delays it as much as possible. That's what I'm doing wrong. I'm getting it too early.
Well, we face all-ins all the time.
So what? If ShoWTimE faced the holding, I'm sure he would defend.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's because the first adept scouts it, I guess, and stuff. That's just these high-level things.
Yeah.
Subtle things. Void
It's
Ray
like we don't play the same game almost.
Void Ray is going to clean up a couple of these Overlords. +1 melee is on the way, as the layer has been started as well for Serral in the natural. We do have the money. This is a little faster than we saw it on, I think it was Abyssal, where it went up to 54 drones. This time it's 48. It's still a lot, but... And he's getting those sentries. Remember the sentry Blink Stalker game that we had earlier today? There's a good chance we'll see something similar like that.
Yeah, I mean, I really think that there's been a few fights that ShoWTimE has not done as well in compared to what he should have. But for the most part, he's been on point with the force fields and all that.
So Overlord is going to get picked off by the Void Ray.
So he must be thinking like, Jesus, how far back home do I have to be for this guy not to hunt my units down?
Yeah, only losing 2 is not that bad, right? If the Overlord gets 4 or 5 kills, that's why we're truly going to talk about it. 2 is kind of a regular number, even if I had to go a little bit out of his ways to get it.
What do you think? Straight into charge?
I think Blink, man. I don't know.
It would make sense, actually.
I'm getting a Blink feeling, because he had a lot of success with it early today.
Yeah, on this map as well, there is a lot of avenues you can attack into, and it's actually Glaze.
Glaze into Blink.
Glaze into all-in.
Yeah, I mean that's different than what we saw earlier today. Spire is on the way, so that means there's not going to be that much anti-air actually in the army of ShoWTimE. But obviously with a Prism and that many gates, if you have a Guardian Shield and you warp in 6-7 Stalkers, then 8-9 Mutas are just not that scary anymore.
It's so funny that adepts are so cheap in comparison with other units that you go up to 10 gates, at least, when you're going for adepts.
Getting these safety pilots here as well. Serral's kind of delaying his forward base this game a little bit, right? Definitely not rushing into it like we saw.
I think he knows there. A lot of the time he's going to be a Void Ray in that location, preventing that, but funny enough, ShoWTimE kept his Void Ray towards home in this game.
I was waiting for the creep perhaps to spread there so he could defend it with the
Spire
queens.
closing in on completion. ShoWTimE mentioned earlier that he knew that Serral was going for Spire against Dark Templar drops a lot, but now against the Stargate he doesn't seem to care and he's going for it anyway.
I mean, it happened on Abyssal and that turned out great for Serral. I said 1 Phoenix was not enough to deal with the Mutas. Lost 10-9 workers. Warpers was quite far away actually. And 1 Adept does get picked off. 5 Mutas on the way, Todd. +1 is about to finish up. ShoWTimE is ready. He wants to fight. If the Mutas could snipe the Warp Prism in the back of a massive fight near the fort, that would be great. What's the Baneling count at? Only at 5, and Baneling speed ain't done yet. I think this is going to be a guaranteed cancel. Serral actually wants to keep it alive.
I see the force fields here. So far they've been good, but a lot of them were used and didn't achieve a lot of kills on these units.
So the Mutas are making their way across the map. Well, very late cancel there, but he does get the job done. Are there enough Banelings here? A couple of more force fields go down. Parasabal lands in the middle of the army.
It's very tough for ShoWTimE because he can't be looking away from his army, but at home he's got Mutas wrecking his middle line right now in the natural.
So be careful. I mean, a lot of force fields have been baited already, right, by Serral. But look at the army supply. Oh my god, 108 against 61. ShoWTime's army is just massive compared to this army of Serral.
And he's forcing a lot of corrosing bile here to try and get a cancel on these force fields. He's gonna shit a couple of depths forward to trigger these Banelings. That was brilliant here by ShoWTimE, who's now spreading out his units, trying to negate some of the damage here.
Well, these Banes
from these adepts.
The Banes did some serious work, but obviously Serral is losing a lot of potential income
the
now as
Mutas
well.
across the map wrecked the entire middle line on the third base of ShoWTimE.
If this Prism falls, that would be disastrous, but the Prism is still full on
the
HP.
Mutas, they fly into the natural. Overcharge is used. He's gonna go straight for the main. There is no overcharge left.
And they're gonna kill even more workers. ShoWTimE seems to be pulling the workers, as we can see on the minimap, but let's take a look at these perhaps final moments of Belshare. Does ShoWTimE have enough Protoss here? How many Banelings are there? Just 5? It's 5 Banes, though. That can't be enough.
Yeah, Serral's gonna evacuate that base here. He needs to try and regroup. get a few more units out. These roaches getting caught here, trying to rally into the main base.
I mean, ShoWTimE lost almost everything at home. More than 40 workers have gone down. But he also killed 3 out of the 4 bases that Serral had.
Yeah, both players' income have been wrecked here, so it's a lot about the current army here that they've got and what they can do with it. And at that game, ShoWTimE is in a better position.
ShoWTimE knowing as well that it all comes down to this final push. He's going to bring the Oracle. He's going to snipe a couple of bases because there's almost no anti-air. Well, he doesn't get that, but the Void Ray is going to show up as well.
He could actually kill that Queen if he had stargated that earlier. This Muta is still going to work. Serral is so sick with his Mutas.
ShoWTimE is actually going to make a Phoenix. I mean, he has no economy. He's going to go up this ramp, though. I definitely think he's going to go for it, because there's not that much Dark Thought. I mean, it's always hard to run up a ramp. Oh, the Queen.
Here's another Queen. Serral is broken his supply block. He's actually got the minerals to make one.
Maybe the Muta should come home and try to clean this up. ShoWTimE still mining now.
He can actually move up the ramp. Like, if he saw... I mean, he sees the army position, but he wants to play it safe, I guess. Like, I mean, he's got 3 Nexus.
He doesn't know about this base though, right? That's okay. He's gonna.
He's not saturated. He doesn't care. I think.
He does know. He's gonna send over the Warp Prism. He's gonna contain him. Tom, what is this contain? 10 minutes into the game.
It's
oh, the Warp Prism. It's gonna get picked up.
It's the sick lockdown, man.
That's nice. At least that means no reinforcements.
All right, let's take a look at the income. ShoWTimE actually bet ahead on gas, but not mining. Ahead on minerals, sorry, but not mining any gas. He's gonna have to fix that here in a second. Even though he's got some gas left over.
How is Serral supposed to break out, Todd? And this one Phoenix.
Nidus.
Oh, which one? Wow, he's making 3 more Mutas. That's interesting. Really wants to kill that. This is such a sick game. Serral wins this game. He's gonna get the Phoenix, Todd. That's actually big. That's massive.
War Prism here being added on.
Oh my god, look at all these fake units. Things like ShoWTimE really. Oh, good job, Daz. Oh, he missed it. Double stasis. 4 more Mutas. Gonna fly across the map. There's 4 Stalkers and a Photon Overcharge.
ShoWTimE can just get cannons in his middle lines against the few Mutas, because there's really not that many. Or even just get Phoenixes, actually. Chase the Mutas around. Even this army doesn't have much against Phoenixes.
That's what he's going to do. He needs
Keep in mind, there is no Hydra then. So at most, he can get Corruptors or Mutas, but it wouldn't be enough.
Neo Prism shows up. It's important that you don't lose the Phoenixes, because ShoWTimE obviously doesn't have an impressive economy, but he's got 26 now. Gets the Mutalisk there. Almost. Should be able to get it.
I think ShoWTimE's got it.
Yeah.
What an insane game.
Can this army die, though, through this army? Maybe bring all the... I think right now the best thing that Serral can do... Oh, against 3 Phoenixes, all these Mutas are gonna die. I think bringing the Mutas home and trying to kill this army would have been a better choice, but Serral got force-fielded.
Wow.
ShoWTimE evens up the series.
From 0-2 to 2-2, we're going to a final map here to find out our WCS Challenger Europe champ.
These guys have played 9 games now against each other. This is going to be the 10th. Are we going to see a perfect 5-5 score, or will ShoWTimE be able to close it out 6-4 in his favor? That was a sick game. I think in the end, when he had the 7 Mutas start, I think he should have tried to bring them to the other side of the map, and then maybe go for a sentry or 2, and then roll down the ramp and hope you can crush it. But
I mean, he was just in a really bad position, not being able to hold against the initial attack. Like you pointed out from the start of the fight, ShoWTimE was quite a bit ahead in army supply, and then he never really messed up bad enough for him to be in more trouble than that. They have actually a really close record. It's 8-6 in series in ShoWTimE's favor, and 13-11 in maps.
Well, I don't think that's going to change in the upcoming months, because they're obviously incredibly evenly matched, as we've seen so far in the 9 games that we saw today between ShoWTimE and Serral. You got your wish, thoughts. Going to game 5 for our last series.
I wish for a draw as well, so Cactus Valley, here we go.
What could? How could you get a draw in PvZ? I mean, both players being left with 1 building and refusing to leave it, I guess.
Yeah, like the armies have to kind of like
be dead
cancel each other out, and
that would be quite rare. Ready.
Then one Hydra is survive, but the Protoss has like mass cannons. It's like he has to shoot, pull back, wait 10 minutes, shoot, pull.
It's 11 p.m. here in Europe. We're still live from Cologne, Germany, where we're getting ready to hop into our last game of WCS EU Challenger. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this tournament. I think it's been a lot of fun, Todd. We saw a ridiculous amount of close, awesome games. And it's going to be decided at Game 5. What more could we wish for between the 2 highest ranked players on the European ladder? Serral and ShoWTimE are going to duke it out for us one more time And ShoWTimE is, of course, the red Protoss, spawning in the left bottom side of the map, hailing from Germany.
His opponent in the blue, representing Finland and Team ENC, is Serral.
Would be crazy to see ShoWTimE turn this around being down 0-2. But we're here right now. We gotta go with the cliche thought. It's basically a best of one right now.
Oh man, we always go there, don't we? Oh, that block! Oh!
Wow, that's actually
So sick!
This
the
is
last second arrival.
it's super annoying for
That was last call at the club, man.
super annoying for Serral, because the chance that this is happening is obviously 33%. Some Zerg players actually get a little annoyed when this happens. We're like, God, what are the odds? Well, the odds are 1 out of 3.
Oh, show me that pylon.
No hatchery for you. So Serral's economy is going to be quite a bit slowed down. And we saw it last game. That could have a very serious impact. Because when that first attack, the big attack happened, with all the adepts and all the sentries, ShoWTimE was almost doubling the army supply of Serral. That's crazy. It's even crazier that Serral still made it that close with his Banes. Banes obviously work very well against Sentry Adept. It was awesome.
ShoWTimE, we've seen a couple Stargates out of him. Does he continue on that trend here?
I mean, it's starting to look more solid, right? And
yeah.
I think the best thing about it is that ShoWTimE can go in so many different directions with his Stargates as well. You see double Oracle, single Oracle, you see a Void Ray. Sometimes you see him go into Charge Immortal, and then suddenly we see something like we saw last game. And that kind of stuff is really hard to scout for Serral, because the Void Ray denies all the Overlord scouting. So how on earth is Serral supposed to know that instead of worrying about Immortal and Storm, which hits a lot later, he suddenly has to worry about 10-gate Adept?
These positions make it more likely as well that we're going to be seeing aggression. It's very encouraging with the shorter rush distance than on cross map.
One Ling is chasing this probe on the right side of the map. Our very last game. Hopefully it's going to be as epic as some of the other games that we've seen so far in this tournament. It would be awesome. Where do you think Serral's going to take his turret base? Probably just here, right? Or do you think he's going to go towards ShoWTimE?
Probably take the safe route.
Yeah.
Like, he's not a guy that loves to get into his opponent's face too quickly. Yeah, you see the drone headed for 12 o'clock, so that fits more Serral's personality of reserved but deadly.
Stalker is being chrono boosted out. Twilight Console and the robotics facility being wiped in, so there's a good chance that we're going to see a Dark Shrine be wiped in as well. Maybe ShoWTimE just feels with these spawning positions, if Serral wants to answer that with Aspire, maybe he feels that he can just run across the map and get there in time. And maybe kill Serral before the Mutas. It is crazy how much damage those Mutas do though, by the way, right? But I guess without Blink, without a Stargate, this is really hard to defend against Muta.
Yeah, I mean, we saw ShoWTimE struggle in the previous games a little bit in defense, even though, like, obviously he made the most of it, right? A lot of Protosses might have fallen apart. I have to say, though, I was very impressed in particular with Serral's Muta control.
Yeah.
Every single time there were overcharges, he was completely ready, always on point with that. Sometimes I watch this guy play and I'm like, there is no way, like, he's secretly in Archon mode and it's 2 people playing, but no, he's just that good.
So ShoWTimE is switching it up here a little bit. And he's also only building 1 probe. He's making a Mothership Core now. But he's getting a pretty fast Warp Prism, so we're going to see some serious Adept harass early on. There is no Dark Shrine this time. I thought it was going to be a Dark Shrine opening, but that's not going to be the case at all. As Resonating Glaives is on the way. And obviously, the defense is going to be super key for Serral. Can't afford to end up losing 12, 14, 16 drones against these Adepts. Making a comeback against ShoWTimE. He did it in game 1, but in general, that's something that's very hard for any Zerg out there.
Alright, let's see if Serral reacts properly to this. Usually his defense has been on point, but it's the last game of a very big series here between these two, and we've seen sometimes players really getting surprised by stuff they shouldn't have been surprised against. First shade towards the natural is going to be sent. The split has to be perfect for Serral.
You could see Serral was anticipating Dark Templars as he was morphing an Overseer as well. Now suddenly has to worry about all these depths. And probably a couple of these shades will finish up, I assume, because ShoWTimE obviously wants to kill drones. And that's exactly what he's doing so far.
And he manually targets on these drones, already killing 6 here. If ShoWTimE can get really far ahead on the walker count, he's already quite a bit ahead behind this. he could go for either a third base and be ahead or a massive two-base attack, which would do very well as well. But I think he was probably going to be a third base because he could throw down a forge and he's making quite a few probes.
Yep.
I would have loved to see ShoWTimE sometimes mix in a huge timing on two bases, because I think he would have been deadly here after the start that he just got.
This is really sweet as well. He's going to be able to pick off a couple of these creep tumors with these adepts, and these adepts ain't done yet. So frustrating. Serral also losing the queen in the main base. ShoWTimE is just going to shade forward. He can always pick them up. This is awesome, getting 3 drones and not losing a single adept. The adepts are making it happen so far, Todd. For ShoWTimE, Serral's in trouble.
He starts the third nexus, like you can still go for a timing regardless of that being up or not. These adepts doing so much, definitely worth their weight in gold here.
Yep. Trying to get that one more queen. He really wants to get it. Oh.
That was a pickup, oh my god. So Links across the map, not going to be able to achieve anything. Quite a few sentries were warped in here, but he had to use a little bit of their energy here already.
The one problem...
That third nexus got cancelled actually one time.
Yeah. The one problem here for ShoWTimE is that this nexus is a little late. That's the only thing that didn't go his way. Units are a little bit out of position. Link's gonna try one more time. Can Serral get the double cancel? Nah, he's gonna go for the pylons instead. So it seems like he doesn't feel confident that he can get the job done there. A couple of roaches are on the way. Where's that war prism? It's at home. Well, actually, no, it's on the right top side of the map. Oh, look at that spire, Todd! Most unfortunate spire ever. Look at my hidden spire. Well, not that hidden anymore, is it?
Yeah, he actually could snipe that super easily as well. He cancels.
He really wanted that queen, and he finally got it. Infestation pit and the Veiling Nest going down instead. Maybe because ShoWTimE scouted the spire, if he doesn't see it again, maybe ShoWTimE moves out too early, and maybe the Ling Bane Ravager can actually crush ShoWTimE's army that's moving out faster than it normally should. The problem is that Serral's economy has been bad early on, so I wonder if he can even get out enough Zerg units. I mean, how many drones have fallen this game? 13, okay. It felt worse than that. That's still quite a bit. It's also, he forced out a lot of units over low economies.
A couple additional gateways going down here on the third base of ShoWTimE to wall off some of his buildings. Templar Archives about to finish. And with the economic position he's put himself in, if he just reaches Storm, builds a big army, I would definitely favor ShoWTimE here in this game, especially seeing as how there is no Hydralisk there, nor any side of Lurkers coming anytime soon.
Yeah, I think
feels like Serral is stuck on Ravager and Banelings, but nope,
Oh!
look at this. Swarm who's starting now. He's going to
That's
try
cool.
to surprise ShoWTimE.
That's actually really cool. Against this army that ShoWTimE currently has. That could be fantastic. I like it a lot. Serral knows that he needs to do something different. It's 11 Swarmos as well, Todd. It's not just a couple. He's going for 11.
Oh, these hallucinated phoenixes, if there was to spot that, that would be huge here for ShoWTimE. Then he could pay extra care here to making sure he knows where they're at all times.
Oh, he spots
Counter
it.
the Locust.
Spots it immediately. He sees the swarm out. That's pretty big. Of course, he had an observer here as well. Now, what's the answer? ShoWTimE takes the fourth base towards Serral. That seems like it's going to be very hard to defend against Locust, but we'll see. It's going to be crazy. The first Locust is going to make their way across the map. Maybe he's going to try to pop some Locusts in this mineral line. I guess that's the dream, right? Serral making 16 Banes. Oh, I like it. Todd, we're getting in for an explosive ending to WCS EU Challenger. Can the Swarmos seal the deal for Serral?
Yeah, ShoWTimE is going forward here with a massive chunk of his army, and on the right hand side at the same time he's going for a big warp in to hit onto that fourth base of Serral to try and cripple him on his economy.
Yeah, that is a very powerful army. That's going to be hard to deal with just a couple of roaches, but ShoWTimE also has to be a little bit careful. He doesn't have many Archons in the mix. Maybe if all the Swarmos fight at once?
By the way, ShoWTimE is always sealed off at home with that wall off. Link's almost never able to get in.
Serral just doing Serral things. Oh, all the Serrals were left behind and only the Archon gets to go home to tell the tale. Now all the Swarmos moving forward. Ooh, this is actually a little bit risky.
So ShoWTimE on 4 bases against Serral's 3 right now. Serral has way more army. Let's see if he can try and make something happen right now.
This fourth base is going to be hard to defend though. The Swarmos do get spotted by these Zealots. Good. Oh, wow, these Zealots! They're doing God's work there, Todd. They force all these Swarmos to come to the ground.
Decoy, man.
Meanwhile, Serral's coming in from the north side over here as well. Banelings get not on top of the High Templars this time. Locust doing some serious work, but nothing really critical, just on powering a gate.
ShoWTimE might just attack. He just has so many item loss that, especially +2 is about to finish, and his army is massive as well. Sure, he's a little bit behind Serral in army supply, but again, he's on 4 bases earlier. He's going to catch up on that momentarily. He's already got the War Prism to reinforce across the map with.
I don't know, though. Fighting against Locust is going to be really hard for this army, though, don't you think?
One storm and every Locust is dead.
I don't think that Serral's... Oh, that's nice.
A War Prism following this. Storm.
He kind of needs to. He needs to let it clump up. Serral's spreading him out, though. That's kind of what I meant. So he's going to get an Archon for free. He's baiting out quite a few storms as well.
These force fields, walling off his army and shielding it perfectly. Many item loss are left over for more storms. He's still got quite a few force fields to work with as well. Corrosive Bite going to land on top of this army here.
Yeah.
But now Serral on the full retreat. A pack of Zealots actually about to hit his 3rd base at the same time.
A lot of High Templars, well, not a lot, but 3 High Templars got picked off there. These Zealots finding this super exposed base at 12 o'clock.
Oh, that's sick. He buys himself a lot of time here with the block off from these drones and that Queen tanking some of the damage. These Banelings, they don't have any time to waste.
Oh, that's an expensive way to clean it up, and that's going to allow ShoWTimE to maybe do something about this fort base. Storms will land, a couple of good force fields as well. The Locusts were not ready in time, and it's safe to say that things truly matter the most right now for Serral, as we seem to have a freeze. Rip, how appropriate. That's just...
I feel like this guy's been disconnecting in games for like the last decade, and somehow he's still joining them.
I mean, he wants to stay true to his name, Todd.
Ripping pepperonis.
How can you call yourself Rip? Drop out of games. 88 army supply against 96. This can truly end any given moment. Now the game has continued. Couple of units, storms, getting close to a couple of links. +2 is almost done for Serral. I think Serral is waiting for one big Locust wave now. But
ShoWTimE just has way more at this point. That these Swarmos are not even that scary anymore. He's got so many High Templars to work with. As long as he doesn't mess up, let's see.
High Templars are always actually a little bit exposed there. But wow, damn, these Locusts, they just got cleaned up like it's nothing. And that might actually prompt ShoWTimE to go for it. He knows that all of the Swarmos are on cooldown. And that the army of Serral is just not that important or not that impressive anymore. This could be it, Todd. Not sure if Serral can hold on.
Serral might be rank 1 on the ladder, but ShoWTimE is not too far behind with all his 3 accounts, and it looks like he might be able to go for the reverse sweep here if he can make that attack work. He's got way more army here. That Storm hits big time on all of those Banelings and weakens them and finishes them before they can do enough. Serral has to say GG, and ShoWTimE, against all odds, against all the ladder odds, wins WCS Europe Challenger. Really insane performance here out of him, especially after being down 0-2 with how Serral was looking. I was like, all right, I guess it's a 3-1, 3-0. But no, ShoWTimE refusing to give up.
He made those Swarmos almost look powerless there in the end, right?
Yeah.
He just kept cleaning up all these Locusts like it was nothing. Well, normally that amount of Swarmos, something you have to respect. Super impressive performance by ShoWTimE. Turning this around in the grand finals, was down 0-2, came back, wins it all. So he walks away with $1,600 and 200 WCS points. While Serral, as runner-up, will get $1,200 and walk away with 140 WCS points. Of course, Nurcho and Snoot will complete our top 4. They both get $800 and 90 WCS points. What a tournament, Todd. What a games. Or what a series there. What a finals. What a sick amount of games.
What a caster, this Roddy.
Yeah. What a crazy amount of games, I want to say. We have been casting. My brain is not working anymore.
Me neither.
It's 11:30.
Okay, I'll let you close out.
Actually, didn't eat anything today. So I'm hungry, and now the brain is just malfunctioning.
Take a protein bar.
No, we'll wait with that off camera. And it was a lot of fun. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to WCS Austin EU Challenger over the last few days.
Let's remind all our qualified players.
For WCS Austin?
Yeah.
The Americans as well. Let's do it, Todd.
So for Protoss, we've got ShoWTimE. Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong one.
Well, we do have ShoWTimE.
Yeah, we do have ShoWTimE.
And
I was like, Harsten? No.
And Puck.
Oh, sorry. We got Neeb, Puck, Pili, Probe, ShoWTimE. Wait, is that the wrong one? No.
No, that's right.
Okay, M. Canning.
No, that's wrong.
No, that's signed up players for, okay. It's late, all right. Let me start over. The 10 players. Is that the wrong one? No, that's the...
I think, I know it, Todd.
Yeah, okay.
It's Puck, Neeb, ShoWTimE, and Oh God, we just named him.
Pili,
Pili. And then we have Probe. And
Major Iagus for Terran, and then for Zerg, Cham, Jon Snow, Serral, Nurture, and Snoot. Woo!
Yeah.
We got there.
So WCS Austin is looking pretty good. Of course, starts April 28th till May 1st. It's going to be a fantastic event. I already know that. There's going to be AC in the convention center for Todd, so that's awesome as well. I'm excited, Todd. I mean, if WCS EU Challenger was any sort of indication of the kind of stuff we are going to see at Austin, I'm pumped.
Yeah. Yeah, these games might be even better because you're going to have cross-region play. Guys like Neeb are going to join the fight. Probe, Iagus, all these guys.
Little Snoot against Big Snoot, maybe. That would be a fantastic game. Probe against Snoot, let's make it happen. That's going to be it for us. We've had 4 very long days here at the ESL Studios in Cologne, but it was a lot of fun bringing you guys this game, an absolute honor. So much fun, so many things to talk about, so many things to remember, and of course, Todd, as always, so many things to try on the ladder. And then we realized that we are not these guys that we just
Beside Templas, I can't wait to see them get blown up by Banelings. It's going to be fun.
It always happens. Thank you so much for joining us. Shout out to our producer, Marius, who's been here all days as well, giving us guys updates of all the other streams. Big shout out to all the other language streamers as well. Too many to mention, but we know that gaming was always there.
Let's try.
Emil.
ESL TVPL,
Alex.
That's, yeah, Alex as well.
And Naruto, of course.
Yeah, for Tech TV.
We got a whole hand.
We're forgetting someone, and they're going to be really mad. You realize that, right?
A big Passion Lord. I think Wardy joined us in some of the days.
Yeah, a little bit. Not today, though.
No, but everything was covered
Indie
on the main.
StarCraft.
Yeah, Polish streamer.
Starladder in Russian.
Yeah, that's Alex. Right? Yeah, Alex speaks Russian as well. Anyway, too many to thank. It's been awesome. Can't wait for WCS Austin, April 28th. It's going to be fantastic. Thank you so much for watching, and have a lovely Saturday evening.
We love you guys.